Gotta go.
It hopped on him. You see how it bounced there? Coming through the longer grass, that's where it lost all its momentum.
Bounced a couple of times. He'll go ahead and finish. And for the second consecutive playoff hole, Tommy Fleetwood has a mid-range putt for the victory. This is what we're talking about with the hops.
Right there.
Taking all the speed off of
Yeah.
it.
That's exactly what I was wondering about. That's why a lot of times players will chip that.
This one right here, Cole, he doesn't have to concern himself with that. He's just an inch off the putting surface.
No, it is very slow. The tricky thing is the ball's going to be above his feet, but I think the last couple feet, it's actually going to move back to his right.
Okay.
Best putter for the week. One putt away from the title. It's pulled. They're going to go back to 18 again.
Tommy keeps leaving the door open. And both playoff holes, he's missed the putt to the left. Crowd's getting their steps in. They ran from 18 over to 9. Now they're going to run back to 18.
Patton, Lowry, eyeing it. And we'll put it back in the cards again. Set it back to 18T for the fourth playoff hole. I told you it's memorable. Won't forget this one.
Well, the trip back to the tee once again, and you try not to put additional pressure on yourself. The moment is big enough, but when you move through 3 extra holes, each player is trying to think of where the pressure point is on the other competitor and where they might want to try and be aggressive. You also need to make sure they don't play themselves out of it. Both tee shots at 9 were hugging the edge of the right side, so they were both aggressive. And a couple of attempts at holding those putts, but both players having to tap in for their pars. And so now you're looking at the par 5 18th again, and we'll see if there is new strategy, because there's no question that Nick Taylor, the second trip to 18 in extras, he found the rough and had little choice but to try and play out, left himself with about a 50-yard shot from the bottom of the green to the top pin, and he was not able to get close and had to settle for par. We'll see if he comes up with a different strategy.
Matching birdies, matching pars, and matching pars. And we retreat to the 18th one more time. 75 holes into this tournament. And if you're just joining us, Nick Taylor was outside the top 120 after the first round on Thursday when he shot 75. It would take a mighty effort to be able to qualify for the weekend. He came back with 67, and then on Saturday established the course record with this configuration, this composite course, 27 holes here at Oakdale Golf and Country Club. 63, then 66. The 63 matched today by Eric Holm. Lowest round. Think about that. This will be the 4th time they played this hole today. They played it in the regulation, already twice in the playoff, and now 3rd time in the playoff.
Time does the sun go down this time of year?
With a low ceiling right now to add to that.
Okay, so no change in strategy. The same club he hit off of the tee every other time.
But what he would love, Trev, is to start that patented fade of his just a hair more to the left-hand side.
Yeah, that last time he played it, not only was in the right rough, it was a little bit close to going long enough to reach the penalty area. to reset, though. A little reverse takeaway, and away we'll go. Gonna like this one. Oh,
That's feeling a little more, Jim.
It's gonna be fine. Oh, look at that. Is that a divot?
What just happened? It almost rolled backwards again, back into.
I think it fell into a divot.
Let's just take a look here.
Oh, gotta be.
No.
They're pointing a little left. There's a bunker over there. Oh boy, that's big trouble. Wow, I don't know who has the advantage. Both off the mark. Here on the fourth playoff hole for the RBC Canadian Open.
So it looks like a tough position coming out of that divot for Nick Taylor, but for Tommy Fleetwood, equally challenging as both of these players are back in play on the par 5, both trying to sort out in their mind as far as what the next shot will be and how aggressive they need to be. 256 yards is what Tommy Fleetwood is looking at, and he is in that fairway bunker. And so definitely a challenging shot coming up, especially depending on how packed that stand is with the recent rain that's come in. The stance, it appears to be above and on the sidewall a bit. And so he will be crouched, trying to get the club face on that lie as best he can. 11 made cuts, 13 starts for Tommy Fleetwood, 3 top 10 finishes so far this season. He was T3 at the Copperhead course at Innisbrook Resort, top 5 at the CJ Cup, and top 5 at Quail Hollow. So he is playing well, just without a win, looking for his first on the PGA Tour. And right now, the challenge continues as he's opened with birdie in sudden death, matching Nick Taylor, a 20-footer, to keep the sudden death playoff going, and then a couple of pars since then. 20 starts for Nick Taylor, so he has had a little bit more of a challenge trying to find the weekend. He's made 13 cuts with 7 missed opportunities, 5 top 10 finishes though. Team competition at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. He was able to come through with a win there, and second at the WM Phoenix Open.
Fleetwood is in the bunker at the 18th, the 4th playoff hole. And for those just joining us in this, what's turned out to be primetime golf, we got Tommy Fleetwood, English star, was been a Ryder Cupper, has never had a win in the United States, though 6 wins over in the Europeans DP World Tour. A couple runners-up. And then you've got the Nick Taylor story, which is riveting. You've got Canada trying to produce its own homegrown National Open champion for the first time in 69 years. And I'm going to be curious, Mark Immelman, what it looks like that live. We saw it kind of wiggle and fall into a little depression for Taylor.
Jim, if I didn't know any better, I would say there was a pitch mark down there because it's not a divot, but it certainly is down below the grass surface. And from my vantage point, you can kind of see about half of the top of the golf ball.